Welcome to Science and Technology Briefing. The content of the briefing includes how AI could power the climate breakthrough the world needs. Hong Kong team says new cool white ceramic may cut air conditioning costs. ASEAN must pursue technology in ties with Japan, expert says. Property boss David Sleeth gives warehouses the hard sell. Hong Kong startup comes up with microalgae solution to capture carbon. How AI could power the climate breakthrough the world needs. CNN. Artificial intelligence, AI, technologies are being used to address the climate crisis in a variety of ways. For example, Silicon Valley startup Climate AI has developed an AI platform that evaluates how vulnerable crops are to warming temperatures. By using data on climate, water, and soil, the tool measures how viable a landscape will be for growing crops in the coming years. Farmers in central India used the Climate AI app to input data on the seed they were growing and their desired planting location. The simulations showed that extreme heat and drought would lead to a 30% decrease in tomato output in the region over the next 2 decades. Armed with this information, farmers adjusted their business plans by switching to more climate-resilient seed varieties and changing their planting times. AI is also being used to accelerate scientific discovery and improve climate models. Computers can process large datasets, identify patterns, and run digital experiments much faster than humans can. AI algorithms are being used to research materials that could recapture carbon from the atmosphere, model and forecast major floods, and predict the availability of wind power. However, the infrastructure that supports AI, such as data centers, could strain the environment due to their energy consumption. Developers must work closely with climate scientists to find a balance and minimize the negative environmental impacts of running AI models. Hong Kong team says new cool white ceramic may cut air conditioning costs. South China Morning Post. Researchers in Hong Kong have developed a cooling ceramic with near-perfect solar reflectivity, which could help reduce the energy consumption of indoor air conditioning. The ceramic is capable of lowering indoor temperatures by up to 2.5 degrees Celsius when applied to roofs, compared to ordinary white tiles. The material has a solar reflectivity of 99.6% and is resistant to UV degradation and fire. Carbon emissions from space cooling have nearly tripled since 1990. And air conditioners are on track to be a leading driver of global electricity demand in the coming decades. ASEAN must pursue technology in ties with Japan, expert says. Nikkei Asia. ASEAN should pursue technological cooperation with Japan to address pressing issues such as climate change and food security, according to Abdul Razak Ahmad, founder of Malaysian think tank Bait Alamana. Japan, he said, is a knowledge powerhouse and a technology powerhouse that can help ASEAN navigate these challenges. Razak also highlighted the importance of ASEAN-Japan cooperation, given the rise of China's influence in the region. He suggested that Japan could leverage ASEAN's desire to maintain neutrality between China and the US, and work to minimize the impact of the US-China rivalry in the region. Property boss David Sleeth gives warehouses the hard sell. Financial Times. David Sleeth, CEO of industrial property group ceram, is championing the importance of warehouses as vital national infrastructure and a force for good. Sleeth argues that these buildings, often seen as boring and ugly, are now at the forefront of digitalization, housing data centers and providing space for online retailers, food distributors, and even Netflix studios. He aims to change the negative perception of warehouses and overcome opposition from local communities who view them as eyesores. Sleeth, known for his calm and mild-mannered nature, acknowledges the need for competitive pay in the industry and believes that executive pay policies should be set by boards to attract the right talent. Under Sleeth's leadership, ceram has transformed its portfolio, selling off non-industrial assets and investing in modern industrial space. This strategy has paid off, with the company's share price increasing more than six-fold from 2012 to the end of 2021. However, the past year has been challenging for ceram, with higher interest rates compressing commercial property valuations and the logistics market being hit hard by the wider property downturn. Sleeth is optimistic about the future, noting the resilience of demand for warehouse space and the importance of strong supply chains. He plans to focus on turning the company's existing land bank into income-producing property before considering further acquisitions. Hong Kong startup comes up with microalgae solution to capture carbon. South China Morning Post. Hong Kong startup Algreen is seeking to commercialize its carbon capture solution using microalgae. The company has developed a 750 milliliters biocapture system, or liquid plant, which absorbs 6.3 grams of carbon dioxide per week, 15 times more than a normal houseplant. Algreen plans to release an improved version of the product next year. The startup is also developing a 1,000-liter scale bioreactor that uses solar power to operate and is applying to public institutions and reaching out to companies to implement its carbon capture systems. Virginia Tech spins an offensive record en route of Virginia. Washington Post. Virginia Tech has won the Commonwealth Cup for the 18th time in 19 meetings after defeating Virginia 55-17 on Saturday. The game was the most lopsided meeting since 2016, with the Hokies scoring 500 yards of offense and 252 rushing yards. The win ensured Virginia Tech achieved bowl eligibility for the 29th time in 30 full seasons. Daquan Felton contributed 133 receiving yards and 2 touchdowns, while Karen Drones posted 244 passing yards and 3 touchdowns. The new economics of buying or renting audiobooks. Wall Street Journal. Spotify is changing the economics of audiobooks by offering them as part of eligible premium plans for as little as $11 per month. The service recently added more than 150,000 audiobooks, including 7 of the Wall Street Journal book staff's top 10 titles of 2022. However, there are a few caveats to the service, including limits on monthly listening and access only for individual premium subscribers or plan managers of family accounts. For dead, more than 60 injured in stampede at live music event at Indian University. South China Morning Post. 4 people were killed and 60 injured in a stampede at the Cochin University of Science and Technology in southern India. The stampede occurred when students attending a live musical event were interrupted by rain and rushed to seek shelter. A crowd outside the auditorium slipped on stairs and were subsequently trampled. The state governor expressed condolences to the families of the deceased and prayers for the injured. An investigation has been ordered into the incident. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Dr. Six, your resident observer from the 6 degrees. I have some interesting news to share with you today. First, let's talk about the power of artificial intelligence, AI, in addressing the climate crisis. AI is being used in various ways, such as helping farmers in India make informed decisions about crop growth in the face of warming temperatures. AI is also speeding up scientific discovery and improving climate models. However, we must also be mindful of the environmental impact of AI infrastructure, such as data centers, and work towards minimizing negative effects. In other news, researchers in Hong Kong have developed a cooling ceramic that can significantly reduce the energy consumption of indoor air conditioning. This development could help combat the increasing carbon emissions from space cooling, which have nearly tripled since 1990. With the rising demand for air conditioners, innovations like this cooling ceramic are crucial for sustainability. Moving on, an expert suggests that ASEAN should pursue technological cooperation with Japan to tackle pressing issues like climate change and food security. Japan's expertise in technology can be a valuable asset for ASEAN, especially in the face of China's growing influence in the region. Technology can play a crucial role in addressing these challenges, and collaboration between ASEAN and Japan can lead to positive outcomes. Next, let's talk about warehouses. David Sleeth, CEO of Segro, is advocating for warehouses as vital national infrastructure and a force for good. He aims to change the negative perception of warehouses and highlight their importance in the digital age. Sleeth's leadership has transformed Segro, and despite recent challenges, he remains optimistic about the future of the logistics market. In the realm of carbon capture, a Hong Kong startup called AlGreen is developing a solution using microalgae. They have created a biocapture system that absorbs significantly more carbon dioxide than a normal houseplant. AlGreen's innovative approach to carbon capture shows promise in combating climate change. Now, let's touch on some other news. Virginia Tech secured a decisive victory in their football game against Virginia, continuing their dominance in the Commonwealth Cup. Spotify is changing the economics of audiobooks by offering them as part of eligible premium plans. And tragically, a stampede at an Indian university resulted in 4 deaths and multiple injuries. That's it for today's news roundup. I hope you found these stories interesting and thought-provoking. Now, it's time for your thoughts. What do you make of these developments? Do you have any questions or opinions? Feel free to join the discussion and share your ideas. Thank you for tuning in to the 6 Degrees Briefing. I'm Dr. Six, and I'll see you next time. Thank you for tuning in. The content above showcases the latest briefing reports and analytical synopses, thoughtfully curated by the 6Do team. These insights stem from a wide array of reputable media outlets, think tanks, government sources, and specialized experts worldwide. We encourage you to explore these sources for a comprehensive perspective. Keep in mind that while the content may not always align with the official standpoint of 6Do Brief, it's not meant to be taken as absolute directives for decision-making. Comprising seasoned media professionals, learned scholars, and accomplished scientists, the 6Do team embodies a trailblazing, fully independent media entity. To customize 6Do Brief to meet your professional needs, you have the option to subscribe to a diverse array of briefings on our website, 6dobrief.com. Regardless of your location, you can conveniently receive 6Do Brief via email.